there are unwritten rules in bowling, and if you don't know them, you're probably annoying people without realizing it. And if you're new to bowling, you're probably breaking these rules without even realizing it. I'm Nick, the bowling coach. I'm a USBC Silver certified, and the first unwritten rule we're gonna go over isn't more of a rule, but more of just stuff that people never tell you, and that corresponds to board numbers, and specifically where to stand. And when people say they're standing on a certain board, what that actually means. So with board numbers, we have these dots here on the lane, okay? So we got these dots way back here, same set of dots up here, and then dots at the foul line. And then we have more dots there, those are for aiming. And then we have arrows, which are also for aiming. When we talk about what board we're standing on, we take our non-ball side foot, and I'm a right-hander, so this will be my left foot. And each dot here represents 5 boards. Some bowling lanes don't have this dot, this one does, okay? And we go from the inside of our left foot. So here I would be standing on board 5. This big dot is board 20. So right here, I would say I'm standing on board 20. And the reason I like using the inside of my non-ball foot is because when I come up and I finish, if I start on 20, I can see where I'm sliding and where my foot is ending, because I end on my non-ball side foot. Okay? If I go off my right foot, it doesn't have the same effect because I don't end on my right foot. So if I'm standing here on 15 and I come up and I throw the ball, yoink, I can end here on 15. So that's why we use the inside of our non-ball side foot as a general rule. So these dots on the floor and the arrows out there all line up to the pins. So you got the 10 pin, which is on the very right, and that lines up with the very far right arrow, which lines up with the very far right dot here, which lines up with this one, okay? The next pin over lines up with the second arrow from the right, which lines up with the second dot, which lines up to here, so on and so forth. So you have the middle pin, which lines up with the middle arrow, which lines up with the middle dot. The next thing that a lot of people won't tell you is most bowlers do not aim at the pins. They aim typically at the arrows or even the dots on the lane, not up at the foul line, but in the middle of the lane here. Or they look down lane at a specific break point, but a vast majority aim at the arrows. So that's where you're gonna wanna be aiming. Okay, so when you have a ball coming out of the ball return, so the ball's coming out, you do not want your hand, when you're picking up your ball, to be on this side, okay? If another ball comes out, it's gonna smush your fingers, and I've seen it happen, and it is not good. Sometimes these balls come ripping out of the ball return, okay? When you go to pick up your ball, pick it up with your hand like this and your other hand on the other side, okay? Or if you have a ball like this, you can just pick it up from here, but do not have your hand on this side of the ball. Or if your ball's like this, don't go to pick it up like this, because now when the ball comes, it can smash your fingers this way. Hands on these sides, okay? Now here's the stuff that actually affects people around you. And we're gonna talk about lane courtesy, because it's a huge deal, especially when you're bowling league. Open bowling, some people don't give lane courtesy, they just don't know. I like to give lane courtesy even in open bowling, just because it's good to do and good to have. So what lane courtesy is, if another person here is on the approach on the lane next to you and getting ready to bowl, you are not on the approach, and this is the approach, okay? You are not on the approach also getting ready to bowl. Also, you're not on the approach here waiting for your ball. When you wait for your ball, you should be off the approach waiting for your ball to come, okay? You only step onto the approach when you're going to be just about bowling. And if this guy over here on this lane is going to be bowling and he's up doing his thing, you just stand back here and you wait for him to bowl. And once he's done, now you can step up. Same with the person right here. Typically you give a 1 lane buffer. So you don't want to bowl the same time as the other person here, okay? You just wait for them to get done. A lot of people will say, don't even put your foot up here. Just stand back here and wait for them to be done. And once they're done, then you can go up. It is okay to come grab your ball, maybe wipe it off back here as you're getting ready, but you're not up on the approach. Okay? You don't want to stand up here, getting your ball ready, getting ready to shoot if you're not ready to shoot. And that's probably the #1 biggest pet peeve that people have is the lane courtesy. And that'll jump right into the next thing of when you're bowling league and there's warm-ups, there's a big debate on whether to have lane courtesy or not. If it's not a super competitive league, I've seen people give lane courtesy in almost every league I've been in, where during the 5-10 minutes of practice time you get before league starts, they'll give lane courtesy on practice shots. I'm not a fan of it because I don't think it matters to have lane courtesy during warm-ups and practice, and you can get more shots if you don't give lane courtesy. But it kind of depends on the league. People get annoyed if you don't give lane courtesy. So like I said, it just kind of depends on the league. Also, when you're bowling league and it's warm-ups, some teams, and depending on the league, you just get 1 ball, 1 shot per turn. So you'll line up, you'll be waiting, the guy or girl in front of you will go, they'll bowl. Even if they don't get a strike, they go to the back and you come up, grab your ball, and you throw. You want to throw a strike ball and the head pin's not up, or maybe only the 10 pin's up, and that's fine, you're just warming up. Non-sweaty leagues and more casual leagues, a lot of people will just pick up their spares. You can always ask the other team too, like, hey, are we doing 1 shot? Are we doing 2 shots? If you don't know and you don't want to ask, you can hang back just a little bit to see if other people are picking up their spares and what the other team's doing, and just mimic them. It's not a huge deal. I've had people before kind of be like, oh, well, they're picking up their spares. And I've had people kind of get annoyed with it, but it's not a big deal. The next thing I want to talk about is approach awareness. And this kind of goes with lane courtesy. But if you just get done bowling here and you throw it, maybe it's a strike or whatever, don't walk back on this side. It's kind of self-explanatory, but I've seen people do it, and it's not right. Now the next guy can't go up and bowl. He's got to wait for you to get off the side. It's dumb. Don't do it. Now I've seen signs around the bowling alley for this next one. I live in Minnesota, so it's kind of a big deal in the winter, but don't wear your normal street shoes down in the bowling area, not up on the lanes. Obviously you just want bowling shoes here, but even down in the settee area, you don't want wet shoes. You don't want sand, anything like that. That can get on the bottom of bowlers' shoes. And when you're up on the approach and bowling, you can actually get injured. And there's signs up in the winter here always, no street shoes on the floor, leave street shoes up top. So only have bowling shoes or socks down in the main area. Another thing, if you're just open bowling and maybe there's someone bowling next to you or with you on your same pair, don't grab random balls. Don't grab their balls. I've had people do it to me before where they grab my ball. It's like it's a $200 ball. It's not a house ball. It's not their ball. So just stick with whatever balls you bring up to the ball return and that you're playing with. Don't be grabbing other people's balls. And I want to touch on pace of play, because when it's your turn to be up and you're in league, make sure you're ready. Don't stand and talk to people for 3-4 minutes. Everyone wants to bowl, everyone wants to get going. So make sure you're actually ready when it's your turn. And if you understand these things, you're already head and shoulders above most beginners, and people will actually want to bowl with you.